Hello and welcome to Mom's Car. Today we have Timothy Simons. Oh my God, what a wonderful and tall human being Timothy is. You probably fell in love with him on Veep as I did. He was also in Handmaid's Tale, and let us not forget, Nobody Wants This. Tim is a party, he's honest, and boy, did he teach us a lot about ADHD. Please enjoy Timothy Simons. Checking Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds on car insurance is smart. Unfortunately, not checking that your sunroof is closed before going through the car wash is not smart. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North America Insurance Co. and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I grew up in Maine.
Okay.
And like sort of central Maine, like woods and lakes rather than ocean.
Okay.
But I was going to say that like when I was growing up, there was like this Shakespeare theater that was in like a really amazing building. Like the actual building is beautiful. The theater is beautiful. So it's kind of a destination for like New York, like equity actors to come up and do Shakespeare and like get out of the city.
Right. What's the other one? There's one like in the Berkshires too. Is it kind of like that?
Oh, there's like, well, there is that like Williamstown?
Yeah.
It's not big like Williamstown.
Okay.
You know, like Williamstown, I feel like big names like go and do shows.
Right.
And I think like people that like are playwrights at Yale will like do shows up there. You're like a sort of steadily working equity actor in New York or Boston, and you just get to like get out of the city, and the pay is kind of shit, and you live with other people in the community. But growing up, one of the people that was always in shows there was David Harbour.
Oh,
so
really?
when I was like 12 years...
Is he from Maine?
No,
he
he was a New York guy,
up.
but he was up there for like 4 or 5 summers. So I saw him do like a bunch of Moliere plays and a bunch of like,
Really?
Two Gentlemen of Verona or whatever. And I worked at the video store, and he would come into the video store, and I treated him like I was meeting
Brando.
It's like, oh my God, man, how's it going? Like, and he,
Do you need any secret copies of anything?
I would like try to do like the cool video store guy. I mean, I was probably 14, 15.
Oh my God.
And I'd be like, I got recommendations for you if you need them. And he was probably like, yeah, man, I kind of know.
I'm an artist.
I'm an artist. Like, yeah. But I always kind of loved seeing him around.
Yeah, that's really fun. And I imagine it's a small town?
Very. Like my hometown was really small. It was like 2,000 people. And the town that theater was in was even smaller. Like we made fun of it for how small.
Oh, really?
Like their high school, Monmouth Academy, they had literally like 10 to 12 people per graduating class.
Oh, wow.
And like,
that makes dating rough.
Yes. And it was like, I was on a basketball team in high school, and it was always like the only team that we could beat because
they didn't have enough players.
Basically, yes. They were like, we got
no subs.
We have the only 9 guys that could even possibly do this.
Yeah. What did your mom and dad do for a living?
When they first moved to Maine, they actually were like 2 of the founding teachers of the high school that I ended up going to.
Was it a private school?
No, it was a little public school.
Okay.
And it had like, kind of drew from like 4 towns. Yeah. So they were like founding members of that school.
Look at that. Do you like that?
Oh, man.
This is how I drive. It's a good
This is why Karen was like, Dax and I grew up being very aggressive. Especially
well, we worked for GM.
So we've just been driving like fucking maniacs our entire life. And Karen wasn't too interested in it. Yeah, he doesn't drive.
Yeah.
I remember when we got a puppy, like the dog walker was like, you got to introduce him to older dogs so that you can the older dogs can roll them. Oh, that was the phrase she used. You got to roll them.
Oh, okay.
So that they understand. You were kind of rolling that guy.
Yeah.
He's got to understand.
It's like you're blowing this red light.
Yes.
And I'm letting you know I know you blew this red light. Yeah. I fight my instinct to be a sheriff, but it comes out sometimes, and I regret that you saw that side of me.
I kind of like it. Okay. I feel like there has to be a little more of that in the world. Like we should all be understanding.
I know. I have this thing. Okay, this is really great because originally I was going to say like Michigan, we didn't have the camp culture, right? It was a very New York thing, I guess. Additionally, you have agents. I feel like it's very specific to agents. You have agents driving around LA in 911s, and they're 5'5", and they're screaming, "Fuck you," and cutting people off. And I'm like, you cannot get away with that in Detroit. Someone's pulling you out of your car, and you got to be able to back that up. And there's something that just feels crazy to me about LA that goes on.
Yeah.
And then the same guy yells at the fucking hostess. And he's just a bully, but he does not have the stature to be a bully. Yeah. That really sets me off.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Because I only found this out very recently. And this sounds like a big phrase, but a comorbidity of ADHD,
yes.
like a sort of, it is a heightened sense of injustice, like, or a heightened sensitivity to injustice in that way of like, this is an injustice. And so I'm going to ask, like, are you an ADHD person?
Okay, so 2 things. I interviewed Gabor Mate, who is an expert on ADHD, right? Mm-hmm. After the interview, I'm walking him out of the house, and he says, just randomly, he goes, "Have you ever been tested for ADHD?" I was like, it's like a intake counselor at a rehab asking if you've ever done the questionnaire for addiction, right? I was like, oh, I think maybe you just evaluated me and that's your conclusion. And then I had another ADHD expert say that to me as well.
Yeah.
But I'm fighting against, it's so popular on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, is your feed just endless? ADHD people do this. I saw one the other day. I was like, have multiple drinks. I always have 4 or 5 different drinks going. And I'm like, oh yeah. But then I said that out loud and Monica looked it up and was like, no, that's not really a symptom. So people are like piling on symptoms, and I think there might just be humanness. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think I probably am ADHD, but I'm also having a reservation. How about you? Are you?
I am.
And you've been diagnosed.
Yeah, I was diagnosed when it was still a pretty novel thing. Like, I had to like go to a children's hospital in Boston. Because it was sort of like so new. Yeah. And I had like fallen, I was never like an amazing student, but I had fallen off a cliff in the 10th grade to the point where they were like, something larger is going on.
Sure, he's either gotten a substance issue or closeted homosexuality.
Yeah.
Something big is happening.
And I went to the doctor and they were like, "You're a closeted homosexual." I'm not ready to face that yet. So like, what else you got in the hopper?
Do you have any pills that'll distract me until I'm old enough to pursue this?
And
you're closeted. Imagine if your doctor said that to you with a clipboard. He's got test results. Your labs are in.
Flipping through the pages, and I got to tell you, your brain lit up. I don't know why we showed you a picture of men in swimsuits, but every lobe was firing.
We rarely see the occipital catch fire the way it did. This will not come as a surprise to you, but you are a closeted homosexual.
That doesn't sound right. I remember it being like my local doctors were either unable or maybe didn't have the training to be able to give the diagnosis, which meant like my mom, my dad had to like take a day off from work. And like we drove down to Boston. I had tests all the next day and then we drove back.
Do you remember what the tests were?
I mean, it was everything from like written tests to physical to like, I do very clearly remember they were like, okay, now you have to hop on one foot for 30 seconds.
Oh, really?
And then you have to hop on the other foot for 30 seconds. It was like a battery of like written, verbal, and
How
also
long
physical
was it?
tests.
A half a day?
Full day. Like I was in there for probably 6 hours.
Which sounds like the worst thing for an ADHD person to be stuck in a room. Or was things moving so quick you were stimulated?
Things were moving fast. And also I think a lot of it was like I got to like leave school for the day and go to the city.
Sure.
You know, so I was like, I'll fucking hop on one foot all day if it means I get to like actually see a building that's more than a story.
If I can pop over to what's the Cheers location? Did you go peep that? Like Bullfinch and something? Or?
Like we probably did Boston Common. They probably pointed it out to me, but they were like, you can't go in there.
You're too ADHD.
Yeah.
You'll fucking drink everything in the house.
Yeah.
Comorbidity, we'll just explain that really quick for anyone who doesn't know. It's like anytime there's a condition that has a high likelihood that you'll have another condition. It's a very common overlap, right?
I'm actually glad you explained that because I think if you had asked me to explain that, I wouldn't.
Yeah, like say the given population has a 5% chance of being narcissistic, right? People with BPD might actually be 30% likely, and that would be a comorbidity. And those aren't real examples, but that could be a thing like that.
So it was a friend of mine whose wife, who I actually met I ended up working at that Shakespeare theater that David Harbour worked for, but when I was 21, 22. And there was a woman who is now a costume designer out here when she was like 19. It was like her first job. Yeah. We got to be friends. And we still see them out here. They live out in Northridge. They came over to the house for dinner. They have 2 kids now. And she is very ADHD. And so he does all the reading of the ADHD. He's a great husband. He does all the reading of the ADHD books and then tells her, sums it up for her.
He's her doctor.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very generous. That's a sweet person.
And that was one of the things that came up. And I think I've really kind of dialed into that when I feel it happening.
The injustice.
And it also makes me feel, it has both managed to like calm me down when I am feeling that way and has also explained a lot of stuff up to this point.
Just being able to look at the feeling you're having going, right, you have an exaggerated sense of this, so just keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And then it also like kind of says like, okay, so is this really as big as my head is making it out to be? And it just like, it makes you just look at it again. And sometimes it is, no, actually, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
But has allowed me to then like pull back from things that aren't. Like,
does
okay,
the
that guy
awareness seem impossible, or you just are constantly aware now that?
Yeah, like how long will you be in the emotion of like, let's say, rage towards injustice before it clicks? Oh, this is that thing.
Well, recently it hasn't been very long because I only found this out like less than a month ago.
Oh, okay.
And I have noticed a huge shift in how long I stay in that like sort of spinning thought of, man, like where it used to like ruin an entire day.
Yeah.
You know, shit like somebody that like ducks under like the little barrier at the airport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, no, they set up the fucking lanes and I'm using the lanes, but you went under. I would be mad for the whole flight.
Right. It'd ruin your vacation.
Possibly a week, maybe. Yeah.
And so I have noticed in the last month, while yes, that person should still be executed for doing that, I'm able to just understand that it's going to take a while to like pass that law.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, look, I have that really bad, but it's always interesting, isn't it? I think that also when you have kids, they force you to confront whether this story you have about yourself is real or if it's just your fucking genetics, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you do you have that with your kids? Like, okay, so my story was, my dad filed bankruptcy 3 times. Money was really, really tight. And that's why I'm so frugal and responsible with money. But then Lincoln, our oldest, she has saved every penny she's ever been given. She's grown up in abundance. And then the little one, look at this, we got one. You're a good luck charm. In a big ride. Oh. Is it gonna fucking... I was like, should we just sit in front of Rice Barbecue? Because we've had an inordinate amount of deliveries from Rice and Barbecue.
It looks like this is a 2-banger trip. 2 restaurants.
Salt and Straw is the first.
Salt and Straw,
that's ice cream, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're doing a full thing. They're doing
this is
dessert and maybe a main.
I hope they got some dry ice in this bag.
So my story about my injustice thing is like, I had stepdads, they were bullies. I'll never stand for bullying. I won't stand for injustice. But I might just genetically be that way.
Maybe.
Because like ADHD is definitely genetic, right? It's not like, it's not a nurture situation.
I don't think so. I definitely noticed like the part, and I guess maybe I wonder, is it genetic or is it nurturing that like I see behaviors that I don't like in myself in my kids.
Yes.
And those get heightened. And sometimes your own like, now I'm mad at my kid, but I'm not really mad at them.
I'm mad at myself.
I'm mad at myself for like allowing that to continue, and that can be rough.
Yes, I have a very easy time parenting our daughter that's just like Kristen, and she has a very easy time parenting the one just like me.
Hand me the phone.
My oldest and I set each other off so much. I hate if a plan has changed, and I really don't like any plans that I didn't come up with. I hate to admit that. And it's so much of it is arrogance. I'm like, I just am very an efficient thinker. I'll know how to where we should stop, right? Yeah. It's just arrogance. But fuck, she's the same way. And she'll be being very stubborn and inflexible. And I'll be like, just fucking go along with the plan.
Yeah.
You got a whole family here. You're not the only person with a vote. And that's just, it's me. And it's hard. It's very hard.
It is funny when you're saying that and you're also like, I'm never going to take that advice for myself.
No, and I'm enforcing my plan.
Yeah.
Which is like, we're a democracy, you know, whatever the fucking thing it is. And Chris is just like, yeah, I've been dealing with this for 18 years and I'm used to it. I know how to outwit you and outmaneuver you and distract you. And similarly, the little one drives Kristen nuts. And they're the same person.
That's
like Kristen will be actively yelling at her for leaving stuff in the sink while half the shit in the sink is Kristen's. And I just stay out of it. I'm like, oh my God, this is so funny and ironic. Like, yeah, the sink is full with both y'all's shit. And Lincoln and I don't ever do that.
That's so funny. Have you ever checked, did you do a count?
How do you know which ones are hers and which ones are yours? That would be my sarcastic way to bring that up without fully committing to addressing it.
There are always days where it's like, is this the day that I make the joke? Is this the day?
So yeah, what's her mood? What's the temperament? Is this a good day to be a pussy and fucking frame this as a joke instead of addressing
just being direct about it? But I know that, like, I will also say, like, I know that my fucking moods cause Annie to be like, well, how am I going to attack Tim's bullshit today? Mm-hmm. How are we feeling? How can
greens?
Oh, man. The hardest part, especially since we've been out already today, I'm really hungry now. And I could fucking kill that whole ice cream section there.
Well, maybe you should just get a little to go.
No, that will slow us down.
Or we could run through a drive-thru.
No.
Okay, wait, I want to hear, Aaron, your injustice.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, just the whole genetics, it reminded me of, and Tim, I know we don't know each other, but I got sober 5.5 years ago. And it was like thank you, and it was a whole emotional, mental, physical.
Yeah, to bring up to speed, Aaron had another 16 years at it that I did.
Okay.
And we went the same level of impossible consumption. You can't imagine what he looked like 5 years ago. He was 100 pounds heavier. He was missing many teeth. His nose didn't work. His eyes didn't work. He was gray. He looked 59.
He's dying.
This is a full frame-off restoration. This is like Bob Vila got in there and got down to the studs. Like, this is the biggest turnaround I've ever seen in sobriety.
So I had to bring that up just because I really was not aware of a lot of things until I got sober, or I didn't want to be aware of anything. I just wanted to hopefully make it through the day, and hopefully not at the same time.
Yeah, if everything went perfectly, not make it through the day.
I came out with my son, who's now 18. He was probably 6 or 7 at the time. Came out here to LA. We went to Disney World and the whole thing. And we're in Dax's driveway playing catch, me and my kid. And I remember Dax asking him something, and he was so shy, my kid, and he's like, and I'm like, Wade, answer him. And I got like angry. I'm so embarrassed to say this. And Dax is like, it's okay. Dax is like, this is what I love about that was you when you were a kid. And I was like, I am a monster. And I was like, that's why I hate my son, because he's me. I love him now.
The first time I ever brought Aaron to a weekend at my dad's, and my dad was a car salesman and a huge personality. You look people in the eyes and you shake their hand too hard and you talk.
First name, last name, everything. Hey, Jay Ashenfelter.
Yeah, he just left Dale Carnegie an hour before dinner. And we were in this booth in Greektown, I'll never forget. And Aaron was so shy as a kid, and he whispered something to me, and we laughed. And my dad goes, hey, we don't whisper. If you got something to say, he was so aggressive.
Fucking voice was so loud.
Yes, and I was like, Dad, shut up. He and I were always like this, but yeah. I was like, Aaron, this is the same situation. Like, remember you didn't want to talk in front of my dad?
Yeah, I was like, God, I don't want anyone to be like me.
Yes. It's so hard.
Give me the
sorry.
No. Thank you for waiting for me. We're so busy today with making this money that there's no time to talk.
Do you think it's unethical? I'm taking some work for some people.
I don't.
Okay. I kind of do, but also I don't care because it's for art.
Yeah.
Lowercase A.
I think
The Superman, in fact, the A is like half the size of the lowercase r.
Basquiat is looking up from his grave being like, God damn it, why wasn't Uber Eats around when I was alive?
Yes. Think of the paintings I could have done.
I could have done some real shit. I've had that idea before of being like, would it be fun to sign up for Uber and like drive around every once in a while, and even in just a way to like get an idea?
Yep.
You know what I
Yes.
mean?
That was my first fantasy. Aaron's been driving Uber in Detroit. And he hits me once a week with a fucking insane story. And I'm just jealous of the action. I always say I want to work at 7-Eleven when I'm retired, just to see shit go down. I love stimulation like that. And so I was like, that's what was my original idea. I was like, nobody's going to get in the fucking Uber and there's 3 cameras pointing at them. And I go, hi, you're on a podcast. Where are you traveling to today? So this was kind of the next best thing. But it has been really, really illuminating. What I've concluded is like half of the city's in their house and the other half of the city is driving things to those people's houses. Yeah. Every car we're seeing is a delivery person, virtually. Okay, so when you got the diagnosis, what year was this?
Sophomore in high school, so 93, 94, somewhere.
Okay, and were you prescribed Ritalin or Adderall?
I was prescribed Ritalin.
Okay, and did it have a really positive impact?
Incredibly positive.
Yeah, I always think, like, what the fuck does one do? Like, I'm an addict, and if I had, well, maybe we're concluding I do have ADHD, I couldn't have had that medicine. Yeah. But it also explains why, like, cocaine was my drug. I fucking love cocaine. I feel perfect on cocaine.
I'm not a doctor, but that seems to be like what someone would call self-medicating in that way. Like I have heard stories of like other ADHD kids like walking in and they're like, what is that? And they're like, oh, this is like a 64-ounce Diet Coke. And they're like, you are self-medicating. And like you're trying to find the same thing that this drug will give you.
Yes.
Except I do know, like, and
but you have no addict-y kind of qualities, right?
I think I do.
Oh, that's good.
I do.
We prefer that.
You guys are both like,
what have you done?
Oh, spray.
Pump, spray.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. Like, if I'm going to try to draw the only line that I can, I feel like I've always seen my dad never go too far in any direction. Like, he always would have a drink, but he would never drink a lot.
Annoyingly moderate
in that way. And I also have just like, I feel like whenever I have gone, I don't like the feeling of being super out of control.
Right.
So whenever I felt like things were getting toward there, I was like, I feel like I gotta. But like the first time I ever sports gambled, I was like, oh, this is why people move to Vegas and give everything else up. Like that part of my brain is in there.
Yes.
And I do think I'm okay at managing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I did like smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day for like 10 years.
Yes.
Like I know it's in there.
Yeah, we were both very, very heavy smokers, Aaron and I.
It's fun. It's great.
Now, yeah, I read,
cool.
Someone sent me an article that they're like on the verge of a vaccine for lung cancer. And I was like, what do we do?
Again?
What do we do? Like obviously I'd wait till my kids graduate, but not when I'm on a lake house retired and I have a vaccine for lung cancer, am I gonna bang darts?
Yeah.
Yes. But I do. But I am willingly forgetting about how much I coughed, how bad my cardio was.
Yep.
My teeth were getting yellow. Everything smelled.
I do remember the day that I decided to quit.
How long ago?
I started when I was in college and when I was like 19 and quit when I was 29. And I had always kind of told myself, I'll quit when I'm 30.
Right. I quit when I was 32. Yeah, that's a good age to quit. You're like entering a new decade and you're like, are we going to do another? Because you know if you enter that decade doing it, you're another 10 years.
Yeah, then it's going to be on 40. The reason I quit was I walked up 1 flight of stairs and was out of breath. And I was like, I'm 20. I was like sitting on a couch one time at rest and I was breathing heavily. And I'm like, you're 29 years old. And so that was sort of like the thing, like a little bit of a come to Jesus.
Aaron will tell you, I just coughed all fucking day long. I tried to get the tar out of my lungs from the second I woke up until I went.
I mean,
it's like a soothing. No, I miss him talking. It was like a soothing. It made me feel safe. No one was around.
Did we all go in?
No, just me.
Nope, just
okay,
Dax.
Cool.
Yeah, you have no duties other than to be charming and funny, which you've already nailed.
Yeah, show over.
Stay tuned for more Mom's Car. We are supported by Allstate. Checking Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds on car insurance is smart. Unfortunately, not checking that your phone isn't connected to your car's Bluetooth before having a private conversation is not so smart. Let me tell you, nothing quite prepares you for the moment when you realize your entire carpool just heard every detail of your last doctor's appointment through the car's speakers. Talk about an awkward ride. Or how about this one? Checking Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds on car insurance is smart. Unfortunately, not checking that all your windows are closed before going through the car wash is not smart. I learned that lesson the hard way last week. There's nothing quite like getting an unexpected shower while you're trying to clean your car's interior. At least the kids thought it was hilarious. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North America Insurance Co. and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois. Get almost anything you need delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get chicken parmesan delivered. A day at the lake? That's a no. A Philly cheesesteak? That's a yes. An afternoon stroll? Sorry, no. A burrito bowl? Happily, yes. What about a day of sunshine? Not happening. A box of fine chocolates? Yes, that's happening. Delivery on its way. Okay, how about some clear skies? Nope. Well, then how about some French fries? Yep. A little escape? No. A delicious bowl of grapes? Yes, that. How about a freshly cut lawn? Can't help you there, but barbecued prawns? Order it and it's on its way. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
What?
Aaron, don't I have 2 bags?
No, just...
we're going to 2 different locales.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, there are 2 people at this place?
No, there's no. Because we had 2 pickups, but we also have 2 stops. So
This is like a level of executive function that I think because of the ADHD, it's like 2 different fucking, like, can I just drop both of them off? Can you run this down
I
the
think
street?
a lot of people in this business do that.
Can you just help me out real quick? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
When I started delivering food, I was in this place called Little Caesars. There's a bazillion of them. Mm-hmm. You've heard of them.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and there's this bazillion in Detroit, and they're fucking all just flooded with people. There's so many people. I went in there to pick up an order, and there was probably 12 other delivery people in there waiting on food. It got so scary because everyone's, this is in the middle of the hood, right? So, and there's bulletproof glass between the shit, and people are banging on it, and we're this, and come on, and I'm kicking this glass, and I was
oh my God,
dude. And then this one girl was like, we haven't seen any of this, by the way, yet on our ventures here. We probably need to go to a different
I don't think you're going to find it much
yeah.
in Silver Lake with all the writers.
Right. But this one girl, I'll never forget it, she said, she's waiting on whatever she's waiting on, and she goes, give me a fucking breadstick. Whatever the fuck you have back there is what I'm taking them. That's what they get. And I'm like, and that's how people don't give a fuck.
Oh my God.
So he possibly ordered 3 large pizzas and got a chicken wing.
2 breadsticks and a chicken wing.
She said, I don't give a fuck what you give me.
Give a fuck.
That's what they get.
I feel like the person that ordered gives a fuck.
Right.
That's what they get.
Yeah.
They should order from another person if they wanted more.
I was asking while you were inside what your relationship was like after you had gotten sober, but he had not.
Yeah, I'm sure he said.
No, I barely started, but yeah, tell him.
Well, we stayed close in that, like, anytime I was in Michigan, we would always hang out. But I was always aware, like, he was definitely making a concession to be around me and be as straight as he was when he was around me. And it limited, we stayed in love, but it limited, like, we could never go on a vacation together. There's just so many things we couldn't have done together because he would have just been busy hiding everything or whatever. But I never said anything. Like, even though, of course, I was like, I know we both needed to get sober. I didn't say anything until there was a very clear moment where I was like, oh, he's going to be dead in a week.
Okay.
Like, I've got a week or 2 to say to him, if you want to go to treatment, I'd love to send you.
Okay.
And to my complete shock, I said that to him, and he said, I'd love to go.
Wow.
The funniest story ever was I had booked him a place in Antigua, and of course he needs a passport, which he doesn't have. And now I'm like, oh my God, he's got to stay alive for 4 or 5 days, knowing he's going to treatment. Like, I just was, for those 5 days, I was at home going like, oh my God,
that
is he going to
decision
fucking
to go
make it?
and the actual, like, I should have gone that moment.
That's not ideal to have a 5-day window before you go to treatment. You know you're going to treatment.
You're going in every day
You're
to
like,
like the
shit,
fucking passport office.
Guess
It's
what
like,
I didn't do for 5 days? Sleep.
Oh.
Yeah. I would be like, shit, I never shot dope. Maybe this is the time to shoot dope. Okay, so back to the Ritalin.
Oh, yeah.
So it worked really, really well.
Yes.
And then were you in charge of your prescription, or did your parents give it to you? Because that would have been, I know I would have ended up doing 3, and then I would have to tell them like, I'm out, or I lost it, or whatever.
I think this was at a period of time. I would have been like, between 0 and 10 years old when like the Just Say No to Drugs Nancy Reagan thing would have been happening.
Yes.
And I don't think, so there was that general vibe out in the world. And not that there weren't drugs where I grew up, but this like hippie high school that my parents helped start had this thing called Teen Issues Week. And Teen Issues Week was like, everybody took a week off and they had everything from like, that you can learn about jazz music to this is like a panel of gay students who are like out. I don't get again, this is like the mid-90s. That seems
This
very,
sounds awesome. Yeah.
It was like, and especially like rural Maine. They also had people like who had been in jail coming to talk about their experiences, and like it wasn't necessarily scared straight. It wasn't that. It was just like, this is what it is like, and if you have questions about that, this is what it is. And they did. And granted, I do feel bad that we all really laughed at this, but like one former heroin addict came in to do what he called the dance. It was called the Dance of Addiction.
Oh,
and it was
already a rough title for it.
I mean, it was an interpretive dance about his experience with addiction.
An interpretive
done in the round of like a bunch of 8th and 9th graders.
Very well intentioned, but this sounds
very
insane.
well intentioned, also incredibly insane. And I know we were all like giggling.
Yeah.
But I do also, I think that what that whole week did was give you sort of a long view of your life.
Yeah.
Even if I wasn't able to really internalize it. And I think that is all to say that I don't think I was ever going to take more than I was supposed to. I think I was a rule follower in that way because I was so nervous. This is also like AIDS crisis time. Where it was like, sex is going to kill you and drugs are going to kill you. So I was like, and then when I finally did get into drugs, I was always like, I'm not going to do any of the heavy shit, and I'll do like, I like hallucinogens or whatever.
Yeah, no one's ever died.
No one's ever
from
died. It's all
shrooms
fine. And even when I was in college, like, I'm not sure what the statute of limitations on this is, but like definitely if I was like out of money on a Friday, I would sell some of it on the floor. And I'd be like, oh, cool, I have $100.
Yeah. And did you suffer at all when you didn't have the medication? Or was it, did you feel like, oh, I don't feel like myself?
I would feel a little out of control, and like in a way I was
spacey?
I was like, I'm annoying everyone around. I know I'm a lot, but I can really feel that I'm bugging the people that are around me. And that's when I was like, okay, like, let's get it back together.
Yeah, I definitely relate to that feeling.
But I never like, even when, but like, even when I, like.
Not the other people. I relate to being the person that's way too much.
It's a thing. I mean, maybe that's another comorbidity.
It's just really hard to govern it because it's very appealing until it's not.
Yeah.
It's a very fine line to be walking, the kind of loud, provocative,
Yeah, and like a lot
guy.
of times people are like, oh my God, this is so great. This guy's so fun.
Yes.
And then that extra 5%, they're like, fuck, I just wish this guy wasn't here, or I wish he'd be normal for 1 second.
Yes.
But no, even during that, like, I never crushed and snorted it. I was like, yeah, it's just not for me. I'm fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
And-
it definitely had a positive effect.
And are you still on it?
I took a long time off, a lot of it having to do with like whenever I was 22 or whatever, I was not on my parents' insurance anymore.
Yeah. And there are $100 on the street, as you found out.
Yeah. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to try to like sort of self-manage this.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say like, it honestly was like around the same time my kids, like both of my kids have ADHD and like both, it presents itself in very different ways with both of them.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, all the conversations I'm having right now, I know are happening with me. So I actually got back on it like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you're much happier, I assume.
Much happier,
Yeah.
and I definitely feel like a little bit more
Calm.
and a little bit more able to like manage the things that I need to manage. Whereas before I would just be like, I just lost this whole day.
Yeah.
7 things I need to do, and
What
the whole day's fucking
happened?
gone.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah.
It's interesting, too, that it manifests different in women than men.
Yeah.
Because, like, Kristen's pretty certain she has it. And if you read, like, the symptoms for women, it's very interesting. They do it differently.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, so Kristen didn't present that way to me, but as I've learned about it, I'm like, yeah, I could co-sign on this. And we're probably both that way. And probably our oldest is that way. Okay, this is very exciting for me to finally get to ask you this, because you are a part of what I think it might be an apocryphal story. You came to LA, and I want to know the whole version, but
Okay.
at some point you were an assistant to a casting director. Now, is this part a lie? You were reading other people for Veep?
No.
Okay.
That is...
Is that someone else?
That might be somebody else, but I can see where these stories would cross over because I was running camera for commercial casting places.
Okay.
And it was that job that led to a job that got me into Allison Jones's office where I was able to audition for Veep.
Okay,
You know
so
what I mean?
walk me through that. First of all, how old were you when you moved to LA?
I did that, I think what people would say in the entirely wrong way. I was 30 when I moved here.
Ideal time.
Ideal time. You know what?
Fresh face.
Hollywood loves is people who are 30 with almost no experience.
Yeah.
They love that.
Yeah.
I moved here. I had never been to Los Angeles before.
Okay.
I kind of was like, I knew when I moved to Chicago that I would go to either coast eventually. And I was just like, fuck it. I'm going to LA. Like, if you want to work at a steel mill, you move to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, right.
So moved out
In
here.
the 70s.
In the 70s, yeah.
You want to build cars, move to Detroit in the 70s.
In the 70s.
Had you done any IO or Second City classes or anything while you were in Chicago?
I took one Second City class because my commercial, or I guess like my agent in Chicago was like, if you don't have Second City on your resume, I can't fucking do anything.
Right. There's nothing
And
to
so
be
I
done.
like begrudgingly took one.
Uh-huh.
And it was very fun. And I don't know if we have this in common, but a little bit of like a contrarian fucker thing of being like, oh, you want me to do that? Then I'm not going to do it.
Yes.
And so I
Is
didn't
that a comorbidity?
Yeah, probably.
I just don't want to do anything anyone else is doing.
Yeah.
That's
I was like,
it's such a terrible quality. Aaron and I are the same way. We love
so
punk rock.
stubborn.
We love anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like anything sort of oppositional, I was always
Yeah.
like, I was kind of drawn that way. But when I got out here, I still wanted to like do something. I didn't want to like lose being in front of an audience or like live theater or anything like that. So I started doing UCB out here when
okay.
like nobody was asking.
Right.
Started taking classes there
At 30.
at 30.
Uh-huh.
And so the first time I ever viewed Los Angeles was like getting off of the 5, driving down Los Feliz Boulevard.
Yeah.
We had gotten married like 3 weeks previous in like a moving van. And
God bless your wife.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Who
God bless
also
her.
had lived in Los Angeles when she was younger for a very short time, or lived in California and kind of didn't like it.
Sure.
And we just kind of found pretty quickly, like in the first 6 months, even like, it was also 2008 when like the financial markets all crashed.
Yeah.
Like,
Terrifying time.
so she's a public school teacher. She had gotten a job at a school. So she had a job, and
Talk about marrying your mom.
yeah. Please
Do
don't
they have
draw
the same
too many-
name?
Please don't draw too many of these parallels over the course of this drive. But then eventually found a job like running these commercial casting sessions. I would get hired casting director would come in and be like, all right, they pick up the tide, they look at it like this, they smile like, oh, good product, and then they leave.
Yeah.
And then all day I was directing people to do that.
That's an interesting way to enter this whole thing. I almost think that's a gift.
100%.
Because I found once I was directing and I was on the other side of the casting process, I was like, shit, I wish I knew all this stuff the whole time I was casting.
Yes.
Or going and auditioning.
And so, like, seeing it from that side, being like, usually it's not about you.
No. Yeah.
And also then just kind of all day seeing on camera what read as funnier than other things. Like just seeing people like, what is the very small thing that that person did that just made it a little bit better?
Yeah.
And then that kind of led to a job where I was running these casting sessions. But in this case, it was like, all right, the director wants you to improvise with these kids as they're coming in. And so I started doing that, and they just liked the stuff that I was throwing out. And somewhere in the callbacks, the director got up and was like, look, you just go in there. Like, just go in there, and I'm going to move the camera. He's like, because I'm writing you into this.
Oh, my God.
And so that was like the first commercial job that I got. And then that led to like a little bit of a run of like, oh, shit, like I'm actually like working like in commercials a little bit.
Yeah. Getting insurance,
doing all of that. And then that led to this one like commercial where I played Abe Lincoln that a friend of mine from Chicago, a guy who I worked at the house, I was a bartender at the House of Blues.
Nice.
Oh, that's fun. That sounds really fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
His roommate out here was Allison Jones's casting associate.
Okay.
And when I had first moved out, we met, we hung out. He was like, oh yeah, you know, if you ever do something that I can show Allison, let me know.
Yeah. Oh,
and
that's so generous.
And it was. And so he showed her that, and she was like, oh, he's funny, let's call him in. And I went in like 3 or 4
Abe Lincoln
times.
commercial.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she's so wonderful, right? We just interviewed her.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. She's so special.
She really is. And
Nobody has ever had an eye for talent like her.
And it kind of feels like everybody that has become big in comedy in the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Like she's the one that
she's like the West Coast Lorne Michaels.
Yes.
Yeah. She's really special. So, but when you auditioned for Veep, you had only done, or other than the stuff in Chicago, in LA, you'd only done the commercial?
Only really done commercials. Veep was the first television show.
That's an amazing story.
That's incredible.
So yeah, it was like there was a little part of me that like, you know, my agent in Chicago who was like, you're making the dumbest decision of your life. You're moving out there without a job. You don't know anyone. You've never been there.
You're not good.
You're not good. Been trying to tell
you. measured yourself?
Too old,
they don't hire people.
I remember his advice. I was like, hey, do you have any advice on moving to LA? His advice was like, moisturize. I was like, I don't know what to do with that, man. He was like, yeah.
It is a dry climate.
Yeah, it's a dry climate.
To Chicago, yeah. Well, this is the point where I fillet you and bring you out of the closet. So memorable. There's like a handful of people I can remember from almost the first scene I saw him in going like, oh my God, this person's fucking hysterical. And watching Veep, I was like, well, who's this guy? What is he, like on the main stage at UCB? Is he a groundling? What's the story? This guy's fucking right out of the gates brilliant. What is it, 80-28?
My money, it's on this right here, but...
Oh, yeah, 80-24. I'll go up these stairs.
Yeah, girl. You did it.
We did it. Here is your warm bowl of milk.
Yep. Here's your
Have you guys had any
milk.
good, like, recognizable thing? Like, have people been like your Dax Shepard
Right.
delivering?
That was our hopes, you know?
Yeah.
But no. 90% of the time it says leave it at the door because no one wants to fucking talk to their delivery driver. And the few times it has been a hand-to-hand, a handoff. Actually, there was like one person who looked very confused. You could tell he recognized him, but couldn't make sense out of it. And then today, or the last time we went out was with Kristen. So, of course, there's a handoff. And then Dax was like, oh, Kristen's in here too. And they went crazy. But no, most of the time you just leave it at the door.
You just leave it at the door and they don't even know.
Sure.
I know, that's what
They look at you through the window and wait for you to turn around.
Yeah, they can't wait for you. Which I relate to. It's like something so embarrassing about.
I know, you feel like you're...
I feel like I don't deserve it.
I'm not better than you.
Exactly. Yes.
I thank you very much for the compliment. I will say that while not taking any abilities that I might have out of the equation, I think I found myself in the best possible circumstance for me to contribute, in that not having a lot of experience, it being a very like non-traditional show, and that we had these like long rehearsal processes. I don't know that I would have been set up for success in a situation that was a little bit more like, okay, this is your first day of shooting. Like, I was learning everything as we went.
Yeah.
And like, it's going to be kind of embarrassing. I didn't know how to read a call sheet. I thought the second AD was my boss. Like, she came by in my fitting and was like, "Oh, I like your glasses," but they were just my regular glasses.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Do I have to wear my glasses in the show now?"
Right.
But I was in a situation in which we had, like, before we started filming the pilot, we had like 6 days of rehearsal in this hotel in Baltimore that we were all staying in.
Yeah.
And I was also a part of a group of people who were incredibly supportive, and it very much had like an ensemble feel.
Yeah.
And so even though, I was like nervous to be in the room with, I had just gone through UCB, so Matt Walsh is in there.
Yeah, The Godfather.
And huge Arrested Development fan, Tony Hale's in there, and like Julia Louis-Dreyfus is an icon. Like, even though I was nervous, they, and especially top down, both Julia and Armando, like, made it a situation where it was like, like they forgave me for my green moments.
Yes.
And also allowed me to be a contributor. And I don't know that if I had just been like cast on a show and shown up, that I would have ultimately built up the confidence
I have
to be able to participate.
Yeah, I have the exact same story. Well, first of all, I think that's generous and I believe you, but also very intimidating. As much as, yes, they did turn out to be so helpful and supportive, also, it's a big league to step into. So I could see that crushing someone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of experience you're stepping into.
I will also say that I was lucky in that when I was going through the audition process, and I didn't really know a lot of arms work, but as I through the audition process, went back to start watching it, I did have some confidence in that. I was like, oh, this is exactly the shit that I feel like I'm good at.
Right.
Not that I know a lot, but I feel like I know this world.
Yep.
And so that I also did have a little bit of confidence in that, and that I was like, even if it takes me a little while, I feel like I'm in a wheelhouse that I kind of understand.
Right. Yeah, it's not abstract to you.
Yeah.
Punk'd was the same way, which is like, I couldn't really act. You couldn't give me a scene, and I wouldn't have been that good. But the fact that I got 8 episodes of improving, which I could do, led people to believe that I could act, and read scenes and stuff. And I remember, and I'm so grateful, because I went from 8 years of auditioning, nothing. Then this show Punk'd. I had just gotten kicked out of the Groundlings as well.
Really?
Yes, out of the Sunday Company.
Oh.
And so I get this show, and it airs, and of course I'm like, and now what? It's a very big show, and people know my name. That's really cool. And thank God this guy, Steve Brill, he thought I was so funny on the show, and he was casting without a paddle. And I went and auditioned, and I wasn't very good. And he was like, I know you can do this, and we're going to get you this. And so I'm going to bring Seth in, who's a great improver, Seth Green, and you guys are just going to improv your audition. And I'm going to send that to the head of the studio, and she'll have no idea what scenes are real and what aren't.
Yeah.
And I got to do that. I just got to improv with Seth for a half hour, and he cut together a thing. And had it not been for him, I don't know how I really end up as well. Like the combination of, getting to do exactly what I know how to do on Punk'd, because there was no one, you couldn't come in and give me a no.
Yeah.
And then this guy, Steve Brill, who believed in me so much.
And there is that thing of like, you're naturally funny. And eventually, like, there is a thing about this industry that I think is cool, where it's like you can work with that.
Right.
Like, you get technically better as you go along.
Yes.
But like, you can't be technically good and then become funny.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, you're right. There's no like learning curve for that.
Yeah.
Or at least I don't think much.
I kind of feel like Without a Paddle shot in Chicago or in the Midwest, didn't it?
No, New Zealand.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
I feel like...
Which, imagine that. 8 years of no work, and then my first job is go to New Zealand for 4 months.
Oh, my God.
Go canoeing, jump off waterfalls, ride fucking ATVs, work with Burt Reynolds. I was like, I couldn't
He's like,
believe what was happening.
gonna get even better than this?
Yeah, it couldn't. There's just no way. Like, when I found out they had cast Burt Reynolds, who's my childhood idol, I was like, I'm gonna die in the middle of this movie or something. Like, this is all too good to be true.
I feel like I may have auditioned for something in that movie out of Chicago. Because I do...
Oh, are you sure it wasn't Let's Go to Prison? Because Let's Go to Prison. Yeah.
It was Let's Go to Prison.
Yeah, because we shot that there, and it did have, like, Keckner was in it, who was I.O.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Chicago folks, because Odenkirk directed it. The craziest casting in that was Michael Shannon.
Oh, yeah.
How good was he?
Oh, my God. I mean, I guess it was obvious when I watched him, like, I just remember thinking, this guy deserves to be in a much better movie than this. He truly does, and that was true. He then went on to do, like, Road to Perdition. And
you know what? This is the thing that I kind of love, because, like, I have always been somebody who, like, really loves a community, loves an ensemble or whatever. Yeah. I love the small world nature of the business, even throughout the entire country.
Yeah.
In that, like, the day that I moved to Chicago, I went to go see this play, and then I went back, dropped my bags at the house, and then we're like, we have tickets to see a show at a Red Orchid, which was one of Michael Shannon's theater companies.
Oh, right.
He was in it.
No.
Hangs dong at the end of the play.
Hangs dong.
Full dick.
Oh, wow.
Full dick, small theater.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Did he have a nice hog?
Yeah, big, good
good
dick.
looking,
thick one.
Good stage dick.
Like his
Yes.
voice.
And not timid. You
Huge
could tell he
balls.
was used to it, because it wasn't like, you know, we're like not nervous that it's out there. And then like 45 minutes later, after hanging out at the bar, I was in the back seat of a convertible that Michael Shannon was in the passenger seat of, and Michael Shannon's childhood therapist was driving. So like,
and are you partying?
Impossible.
it's like, that is like, we were like going to a bar or a house party just somewhere in Chicago, and it is my first night in town.
Oh, yeah.
And that is like that thing that I
incredible.
love about the small world versions of this, of like, just because I went and saw a play when I was a kid, I got to see David Harbour. And just because I showed up in Chicago one day, I met Michael Shannon.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a question for you.
Okay.
Veep, in my mind, was a very big show. Mm-hmm. How does the reaction to that compare to Nobody Wants This? Kristen's never been in anything other than Frozen that would compare to the level of viewership and attention and cultural phenomena.
Yeah.
That you had to like give a numeric value to them. Are they the same? Are they?
Like when I go to the airport, I will be recognized previously once. And like right after the show came out, I was going back and forth. I was working on a job in Vancouver right when it first came out.
Well, Nobody Wants This.
No, when Nobody Wants This
Yeah,
came out. And I got recognized, like, people
100
stopped
times.
me to say hi minimum 10 times.
Yeah, right.
Like the level of just people, and even there was one time where like the Canadian TSA agents, like she looked at my passport, looked at me and went, "This is the guy from the show I was just, literally, she had just told him to watch the show."
Right.
I don't think it really compares, like in actual numbers. Mm-hmm. I think this is a brand new experience.
Yeah, well, I've been with Kristen for 18 years, and she's obviously very famous, but the last time we were in New York, which is generally a city where people won't stop you, they'll like recognize you, but they, you know, kind of like LA. I mean, literally every third person on the street shit their pants. And I go, "Hun, you're fucking too famous to be out in New York with. Like, this is crazy. We can't get anywhere.
The show is
We
amazing.
can't stand in line to get popcorn. We can't, you know."
Yeah. So many people have seen the show and they've responded to it, and I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah.
It is also like you are constantly reminded that whatever tier you're on, there are subsections of that tier. And it is people very confidently getting your name wrong. And you're like, oh shit, at the fucking after SAGs party, I had a full 3-minute conversation with someone who thought I was the guy from Baby Reindeer.
Oh my god!
And in the first 10 seconds,
that's a bad mix-up.
And also, I don't have an English accent.
No, you're
so
not
she must have
Scottish. He's a normal height, right? He's 5'9" or
had
something.
a full. I mean, I guess I had a beard at the time, but like very physically different people, different accents. But the first thing was a selfie. And then it was a conversation about how much the show meant to her, and she was really looking forward to the things that I do next, and she would be watching.
And you're rightly assuming she's talking about Nobody Wants To.
No, within the first 15 seconds, I knew that she was talking about Baby Reindeer.
Oh.
And I was just like, I can't pull the rug out from under this person.
You don't want to ruin their experience.
And also, I felt like it would make them feel embarrassed.
Yep.
You know, and so I was just like...
What if you swapped to a Scottish accent mid-conversation with her?
In that situation, do you think you do that? Do you let it ride?
Yeah. They'll say they love Garden State. Can I get a picture for sure? And Zach has done the same a bunch of times with me. Do you remember how popular that face swapping app was?
Yes.
Yeah, it was all the rage, and we happened to be somewhere together, and we did it. And I can tell you, it's a mind-melty photo. You're like, who's who? Whose face went on whose body?
I'm kind of like putting a judgment on myself.
Okay.
I feel, is that like a good behavior? Is that codependency? Like that I can't hurt somebody? Or is this like a kindness that I didn't embarrass her in that moment?
I think the latter, because I think from your own selfish point of view, it's much easier to just do the thing than to sit there and explain and then have, and we look alike.
You're being very humble, I think, by doing it.
And you're opening yourself up to going, then now you got to explain, no, I'm on a show. You kind of have got to give your resume.
Yeah.
Which is kind of humiliating. It's just the whole thing would be easier and everyone would be happy. It's a very utilitarian outcome, I think.
Yes.
It's like maximum happiness for both people involved.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's the ethical thing to do.
I'm not saying this about the guy from Baby Reindeer because I do think he's an odd-looking guy, but I think he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Have you
He's
ever had
sexy.
this happen to you? I have learned to never tell another actor that they look like another actor. The amount of times that I've been told I look like somebody, if I don't know them, I look them up and I'm like, oh, that person looks like a fucking melted candle.
You're always bummed.
It's always bummed.
You can have a simultaneous terrible opinion of how you look and feel better looking than other people. I don't understand it because I have a very low opinion of how I look. But anytime I'm told I look at the person, I'm like, Jesus, it's that bad? Like, I thought it was this.
Man, one time there were like a bunch of people, and I'm not on Twitter anymore, there were like a bunch of people being like, there should be a biopic about the guy who played like one of the bad underlings in the Superman movies.
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about?
Yes, he's floating in the prism at the beginning.
Yes. Like that guy. And I was
who kind of looks like Justin Theroux, but Justin Theroux's gorgeous. Or no, that's the other guy. One guy has a beard. I know exactly who you're talking about. Yes.
And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, and God, I hope that guy's dead and doesn't listen to this.
Look, it's universal. I have a fucking friend. I shouldn't say fucking. I adore this friend. Aaron and I are both friends with him. And he's like, oh my God, if I get fucking told I look like Zac Efron one more time.
You're like,
and I go, boo-hoo. Oh my God. I would fucking, oh, my child.
Oh, look at that.
I love this child. Hi, child.
Mom's car.
Hi. We're just finishing an episode.
I know your face.
Tim from
We met on
Mom's
set.
Show.
From Nobody
Put you
Wants
in
to Hi.
contact.
Oh, I got a little jump.
You was mom, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I love you. Oh, I've never seen her walking home from school. That's so fucking
great.
adorable. Tim, this was a party. You're
This was
such
so
a good
fun. I'm like
guest.
so glad this worked out.
It's fun, right?
Yeah.
To drive around the car and shoot the shit.